One of the biggest things that brands hold pride in is their value. How do they get that? By rankings. And rankings mean money for companies. Let's get the inside scoop on how brands are ranked and also hear from a company that made a significant jump this year.
So my first question I have to ask is, what is brand finance and why should we care about the rankings of big brands?
Brand Finance is the world's leading brand valuation firm based in London with offices all over the world, including America. And we rank 10,000 brands a year and indicate what they're worth and how strong they are compared with one another. It is the biggest data source of value and rankings anywhere in the world.
And what are the data points that you use for that? Customer satisfaction, revenue?
There is an international standard that defines how brands should be valued, and that requires three things. First of all, you identify what the intellectual property is, which we do. Secondly, you have to indicate what the financial performance is now and in the future, and we get a lot of information from places like Bloomberg and from clients and so on to understand their future performance. And then thirdly, we have to really understand the behavioral response to those brands by looking at a great deal of information about brand equity, brand performance, and so on. We look at all those very, very rigorously for about 6 months before we decide the results.
And do some of those companies move up and some move down, and do some of them move off the list?
Yes, some go up and some go down, and in the last year, Apple, for example, dropped off our top spot. Back in the autumn, the analysts were forecasting that their revenues were going to drop because people thought that they had sort of passed their best. Funnily enough, in the last few days, their share price has rebounded because they seem to have convinced people that it's going to improve. Google has gone up dramatically and Amazon has gone up dramatically. Others, meanwhile, are quietly dropping off the list.
Matt, welcome back to the show, by the way.
Great,
it's good to have you here. So you guys made a big jump this year in brand ranking. Why did you make such a significant jump?
I think it's a couple of reasons. When we talk to our customers, I would say we are pretty much in an age of disruption. And when customers come to us, they kind of look for three things. They look for a trusted partner, somebody who can help them through these turbulent times. And I think we embed that with a very strong corporate culture. They also look for someone who has a pretty clear vision as to where a company should go. So we've articulated what we call a mode 1, 2, 3 strategy. Lots of investment and focus, particularly in what we call mode 2, which includes digital, IoT, automation type of plays, right? And then thirdly, I think we've done some pretty neat things on the marketing side as well, right? But I would always say, and this is one of the reasons why, I particularly like the brand finance approach, is I think this is about almost like a health check for your company. Is your corporate culture in line? Is your financial performance in line? Are you receiving the customer satisfaction that you should? Are you performing along the whole range of those criteria at a level? And we've done pretty well.
So what advice do you have for brands to be able to make those kinds of leaps and jumps to make your brand value more?
So yes, our brand value jumped 38%, or the equivalent of $1.2 billion, 122.
That's a good measurement. Those are good numbers.
So those are the numbers. When you think of a brand, you have to, particularly in today's world, you have to truly, I think, be introspective as to who you are as a company, what your value proposition is. I still believe that our corporate culture and our ability to do things that are special are a differentiator. And then maybe the other part, move fast and constantly question whether your strategy and your ability to adjust to this age of disruption is on par.
Well, I'm looking forward to next year's rankings. This has been Jeffrey Hazlett talking about the power brands right here on C-Suite Insights.